Well, good day, blessed rising to all the kings and queens out there, all the brothers and sisters, and most of all, for this segment of Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's, a special greeting and love to all the Bahamian people. We have on this edition, this special edition, our doll. He is a former driver and chauffeur for Ministry of Health down in the Bahamas. He has recently retired from that position and now has taken up residence in the beautiful island of Abaco, where he is embarking on an awesome business in the fishing industry. So at the end of this segment, we'll post information where you could get a hold of him to get your fresh fish, to get your fresh conch, and to get your fresh lobster. Of course, his company right now presently is piling up on lobster tails, legally, of course, over 6. And he will be ready to supply the nation with lobster tails during the off season. Now, Doll, welcome to Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's. It's a pleasure to have you on, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure's all yours, right?
Yes.
I heard that before. Listen, man, we're going to talk about a number of things today. Mostly, we're going to talk about everything that pertaining to the Bahamas, concerning the Bahamian people, especially the older ones like myself. I know I have recently moved out of the Bahamas, now living or residing in the United States with my family. However, I want to touch on a lot of things because I was one of those who is a part of tourism. I had the privilege and the opportunity to march in the Royal Bahamas Police Force Marching Band. Kudos to the band brothers, trumpet player. And I also had the opportunity to work with an awesome group down in the Bahamas, Will Power, under the leadership of one Gladstone McEwen. And it's also a pleasure to give a shout out to Chris Justilian and Cullis for the win in the past John Canoe parades. Now listen, we're going to talk about a few things here. Some of it going to get a little sticky, some going to get a little antsy, but we want you to stick with us because we're going somewhere with this. And all of you Bahamians who have something to say, comment, please drop a comment below this video here because we're going to first air it on YouTube. And if you're interested in contacting us, to come and sit at the table, the Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's, we welcome you. We will offer that information at the end of this video. So stay with us to the very end because we're going to touch on tourism. We're going to touch on the Bahamian people and their lives, how the quality changed since then to now, over 50 years of independence from the crown. We're going to touch on the businesses of the Bahamas and how many people in the Bahamas are actually prospering and doing good and why are they not doing good in business. We're going to talk about the nightlife, which I was a part of, and entertainment through the Bahamas Musician and Entertainers Union. I had the opportunity to play several of the local stars. Again, my last tenure was with the Cable Beach Casino Orchestra under the direction of one Mr. Frank Hanna. Thank you for everything you've done for me, brother. And we're going to talk about safety, crime, solution, but we're also going to touch on the population, how the population stayed so low today, but could have been even lower by approximately 80 to 100,000. How the government can help the people to thrive more in business, to live better, though many Bahamians are experiencing prosperity beyond their wildest dreams now, but there are still many who are in line to experience a greater life than they are presently living. Is it their own minds? Are they trapped within their own minds? Are they not believing that they are gods and that they can create their own path? Are there ones who are wallowing in self-pity and not taking advantage of the opportunities that has already been provided by the government and by their own families? Because as I understand, many Bahamians, they get the free land. So we can do a whole lot more, but we can touch on all of these things here on this show, Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's. Mr. Doll, let's talk a little bit about tourism, man. We know tourism is the #1 industry in the Bahamas. I have spoken to some people here myself in the United States who said that their stay or their vacation in Nassau was a whole lot more pleasant than it was. And then there are few, very few, who saying it wasn't as pleasant as it could have been. I want you to comment on this. Let me know if you think, or believe that those persons in tourism who are not experiencing tourism as they would prefer to experience it, and coming back and saying it wasn't as pleasant, and those who are saying, oh, I had a grand time because the last time I was there 20 years ago when I was with college, and the little kids were running up to me and saying $1 per plot, and we felt like we were harassed. But now it's even better. I understand the government has changed some laws, and the police officers are doing a great job on enforcing these laws. Could you tell me a little bit more about tourism in the Bahamas today?
Well, tourism in the Bahamas today, I feel it is we made some progress. We made some good progress, and we made good amount of progress. And the people who actually in tourism, for what I've seen, are saying there's still a lot of room for improvement. You know,
Okay.
a lot of room for improvement. And as far as the boat industry, they need the captains of the boat. They need to beef up their security protection in terms of the tourism going out, maybe snorkeling and doing little paddling raft and stuff. They need to try to beef up their security, because now we know that we had several shark attacks.
Yes.
So I have a nephew who's in that industry, and I was talking to him the other day. I told him, look, if you carry tourists out and you know their potential shark attack, so then what it lead to? Now you have to be more vigilant.
Yes.
You have to find a way, like if the government allow the boat, the captain them to have a bind stick, but I prefer would be good for the captain them, knowing that they carrying the tourism out. They've allowed them to have a bind stick or get a licensed shotgun to keep it on boat. I don't know how they would feel about that, but if you protecting the tourists, because if they are tourists, your guests you carry out to do snorkeling, and you as a captain, you on the boat, and you have your mate on the boat or your workers on the boat, and you spot a shark, maybe your guests might see the shark. But if you have even a green staff grains, if you have one of those items, you stand a 9.99 times time of protecting your staff,
right,
your guests.
Correct.
Because if your guests out there having fun, more likely they could be worrying about, hey, shark gonna attack us. But if you, like I say, you watching out, you looking at them, you watching them, and you spot a shark, you could shout out to them, and then, but in the meantime, you can have your bind stick, or you can have your shotgun, and not necessarily have to kill the shark, because it seems like they have a problem killing the shark, but the shark don't have a problem killing the guests.
Right.
That's one thing they have to look at too. You
Right.
can't allow I'll call them the enemy. You can't allow the enemy to destroy your guests.
Correct.
And then there's a problem. So you have to protect your guests.
Correct.
You know? So if it comes down to you have to shoot the shark, or you get a bind stick, and once you get in close proximity that you can throw your bind stick at them and try to tear them away, then I feel that you would be more, the guests would be more happy. The guests would be more happy to knowing that, hey, they have their captain, who they have, their captain is really looking out for them and protecting them. You know, and I think that would be good.
Now, I know for a fact that certain islands, we feed the sharks, we feed the stingrays. In some places, we swim with the sharks and the stingrays. Now on land, we have pools where we have lifeguards.
Mhm.
Following through with what you said or what you mentioned about having some safety. During the time when we have tourism swimming in certain areas, like you said, bank sticks or some light electrical spin guns or whatever you call it, electrical sticks, we need to keep certain areas clear because the little young kid from Boston just a couple days ago got, well, I say a nip on the foot. He may beg the difference. He got bitten. He almost could have lost his life. As a 10-year-old child who may grow up in trauma now. So looking at that and responding to that, I would say I do believe more can be done. Because when I was in training to learn how to drive a big rig, the millions of dollars that the United States of America spent on DOT, they have simulations upon simulations upon simulations. There are reports upon reports upon reports. And these reports and simulations show all of what they've came about to say all accidents are avoidable.
Yes.
Now, with the Bahamas being #1 industry in tourism in the Caribbean island and tourism being the #1 industry in the Bahamas, I would say we need to do a little bit more in protecting our kids, protecting our parents, and protecting tourism. Because I believe that we can do that. Safety first in every company that I have came about, not just here in the United States, but in other countries. Every time you see a West, it's safety first. They got the countdown calendar, the day, this day, that day, 365 days, 900-something days, safety, safety, safety. We need to have something like that in tourism so that we can say we have had the last shark bite was a 10-year-old kid from Boston. I'd like to leave that there and move on to the next situation. But I'm hoping and praying that the Bahamas does more to protect the tourism, especially when it comes to the water. And I believe, as you said, I do agree with you, it's not just the Bahamas government. It's not just tourism. Maritime has a lot to play with that too. Because maritime is, food is going out, food is going over. They have to tell the tourists don't feed sharks in certain areas, or they need to only swim in certain areas and wire off certain areas so the tourists can be safe and have a safety trend of days stemming to 100 years of no shark attack. Not impossible. But anyhow, let's talk a little bit about the people's lives in the Bahamas. Has it changed in 50 years? Has it changed since independence of 1973? Because I remember when I was a little kid, I was a member of the Boys Brigade Marching Band. I was playing the trumpet. I remember going on the Fort Hill when we marched past the Queen and the Prince, who is now presently the King, and many other dignitaries. Sir Lyndon Oscar Pendleton brought the Bahamas to independence. May he rest in peace. Brought the country a long way. But even though many people has prospered under his government and his leadership, in his passing, they still continue to. However, with the change of government of FNM and the PLP, the Free National Movement, Progressive Liberal Party, I call them all one government. They're all one people. They're all taking care of one country. How much has the Bahamian people prospered, in your opinion, for the past 50 years, from 1973 to last year's independence? What is your take on this?
Well, my take on the prosperity of the people. I really think it varies. It varies, but because like for the small businessman,
okay,
there is much more the government can do for the small business people in terms of too many red tapes.
Okay.
There's too many red tapes in trying to establish a business. Now they trying to eliminate a lot of the red tapes, but they need to give leeway, especially to their own people.
Right.
You can't, we welcome the foreigners who have the opportunity to come in and the government give them license to operate a business. We welcome that. But
Right.
you have to look and take care of your own voice.
Correct.
You know, you can't give the foreigners more opportunity to establish a business, and then when your own come to try to establish business, they go through hell and hell water,
Right.
because they have to realize that, hey, if you could get 10 native to establish a business, 9 times out of 10, or that 10 business that started, out of that 10 business started, I can guarantee they would need to hire at least for 3 persons. They would need to hire in the establishment. So that's 30, that's 10 trees, that's 30. That's 30 persons that the government don't have the headache of trying to provide job for, that make sure the family get a job.
Right.
That take the burden of the government. But if the government aim giving the people the opportunity to try to establish a business, and they going through so much to try to establish a business, where to get in the business startup, and not only that, when they do get it, the light bill is so high, killing the poor man with the light bill. He hardly could pay his staff. That's killing, that taken away from the poor man trying to establish a business. So the government need to look into that, and put more emphasis on trying to get the poor man up and running, and make sure they get a business going. And I think that help alleviate a lot of the stress from the government trying to provide job for the small man.
Well, I can agree with that, and also it would boost the government's intake. It would boost the treasury.
The treasury intake,
because now national insurance is also being contributed to through the Bahamian people. So I do understand what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying. So you're saying that the Bahamian people have the opportunity. The people got the opportunity, but it's the red tape.
Yes,
that's holding some back.
That's holding a lot back.
Now let's bring this. Let's make it a little personal. I know you on a personal level to a certain degree. I understand that you actually built by your own hands.
Yes.
You built a hot dog stand, a food stand.
Yes.
This is my question. How long have you applied for this license and you haven't gotten it yet?
From approximately about 7-8 months now. About 7-8 months now. I applied for it while I was in the process of building the hot dog cart. I never get no answer. And every time I try to go back online to go and see how things going, nothing happened. Can't get through. So I had to stop that and go to some other agent to let them try to help me right now in the process.
So this has been about a year now that you've actually applied for this license.
Almost, yes.
And you haven't gotten it.
I haven't gotten it.
And your food cart is ready to go.
You're ready to go.
And you've retired from government. So you don't have the income other than what you're getting from national insurance.
Oh.
So I would say that you're one of those persons who are more or less right in between. You've served the country for what, 35 years?
35 years.
And you've applied for a license for small business.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there you have it, folks. The red tape. We gotta encourage our government to get rid of red tape or stop dragging their feet in certain things, because this small business could have been putting money in the treasury, Bahamas treasury.
In the treasury.
I think I had this light on too long, and I can smell it putting off some odor that's actually causing me to to cough here. But let's continue the show. Everybody, my viewers, I humbly apologize for the coughing. I think it has something to do. I can smell the films coming off this light. Okay, well, a home-based business. Many people are surviving in this way, including some of the foreigners. The population of the Bahamas has grown since 1973 from 250, 265,000 thereabout to today, which is right now right at 380 to 400,000. And it's my understanding and belief, according to our statistics, that there's some 80 to 100,000 undocumented immigrants. How we expect to handle this or deal with this?
Well, now we have on the legal immigrants part, our government need to be serious about dealing with our legal immigrants. You can't cut corners. Like I said before, we welcome them to come and do, because all over the world, there are immigrants in different countries, not only here, because they go there, they work, they help build the country, build whatever nation country it is, they help build it. But if you go illegal, then it become a problem. We would welcome you here if you come legal, the right way. You come and you help build the country up and stuff like that, that's fine. But when you come illegal, and then not only that, you're not paying national insurance, you're not paying no tax or nothing like that, but you want to get the benefit with the native get. No, it can't be. In any country, you cannot go in a man house and try to eat bread, but that child could have the bread to go there. You can't go in the fridge and take out stuff in a man house or anybody house, take out bread or drink or whatever you want, and somebody house, as the child will do. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. And that's going to cause a problem in the home. So in any nation, it's the same way. You cannot go in a nation and try to take over, misbehave, no respect for the law, and expect to do what you want to do in another man country, and then you expect when the native start to speak out, you have a problem with it. God didn't design it for that.
Right.
God didn't design it for that. In every nation, every country, there is a substance, there is ruggedite or whatever substance in that country or that island. God put it there. But that island, the people, that's helps to sustain them. But now you have to find, when you find the right person who can produce whatever there to help with that, whatever the country is and whatever it is.
Right.
And then you could survive. Because if you in one country and you have, for instance, if you have oil, I might need oil to run my engine or whatever, or run something, but you have oil and I don't have none. I might have some sort of food that you don't have. What the right thing is do?
Trade.
You trade your oil for what I have, or vice versa. You sell me some and I sell you some of what I have.
Right.
And then we can live happily. But you cannot go in a man country to try to take the man, whatever he have, and you keep what you have. But you expect to call that honesty, or you expect to call that's fair. It is not fair.
Right.
I don't care how you look at it, anywhere in the world, there's a powerful country in the world or whatever, it ain't right. It can't happen. God don't please with that.
Right.
You know, if you have something and I have it, I have something else you have, we will trade and make a reasonable trade, and we don't have to fight over it. You can't expect for me to come to your country to try to fight me for my item, and I sit right down there, oh, that's fine, let them take whatever you want and go. Right. And then my people suffering, and I can't get what I need from you, it's gonna cause a war.
Yeah.
That's a plain and simple. You can't go to school for all kind of BJC and BGCSE and doctorate degree and whatever degree you want, and then you call in that sense to go in another man's country to try to take the other man's stuff, and you want the other man to sit there and do nothing. It cannot happen. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care who he is, prime minister, peer, governor, crane, or whatever. It just can't happen.
Right.
No man can stand for you to try to come and walk in their yard and try to take over, and you sit down there and do nothing. You gotta be insane to see somebody come in their yard and try to take over your family or hate your family, and you sit down there doing nothing.
Right. I totally understand what you're saying. We have we have 5 more minutes for this this segment, and I wanted to touch on another issue here. I am hoping the Bahamian people are chiming in, and they are leaving comments to the bottom, and they're also reaching out to Kitchen Table Talk so that they can be on the next show, because there are many people who got plenty to say about these topics. In the last 2 or 3 minutes, I want to touch on another situation that I remember from as a child, and it's still going on today as I am an adult. But the number for you to call or reach out and send a text to, and when you send your text, send a text, the text say conversation. It's 470-382-9632. Let me repeat that. 470-382-9632. Send a text. That number is, you can link the WhatsApp. You can dial it straight, and you will contact Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's, and we'll be more than glad to entertain you. We want you to share your comment on everything that our doll talked about today. And I'm going to touch on one last thing, which may last about the next 2 minutes. Then we're going to go on ahead and get ready to wrap it up. When I was a little boy, I was born in the Princess Margaret Hospital, downtown Nassau. I grew up in Beantown, Hospital Inn. Now, I remember when Milo Butler Sr., Milo B. Butler, him and Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinland went to Freeport, Grand Bahama. And they went there because the then Port Authority put up a fence. And to my understanding then, and belief and memory now, is that fence was stopping people from Lukaya, Hawksbill area to come on through Freeport, Grand Bahama to go to 8 Mile Rock and vice versa. They were tearing down the fence. Now, my question is this. With the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, backed by the Bahamas government, be it FNM or PLP, why was the wait so long before they are attempting to acquire the Port Authority back? Now, I believe they have a 99-year lease or something like that. I'm not sure. But if the lease was broken, if the contract was broken, it should have gone to arbitration a long time ago. Now, I understand the present government is actually negotiating or in negotiating to purchase this land back. And the leader of the opposition party, Mr. Michael Pintard, has confronted the situation and asked, why isn't there more discussion to bring this to the table of closure? Any and everybody who has information on this, I would like to know about it. I want to bring more of it to Bahamian people, but I also want to bring more of it to wherever it's supposed to go to. So I can give you 30 seconds, doll, to voice your opinion on this. 30 seconds. Go for it.
Okay. In terms of getting the land back, I think they, like Mr. Pindad say, they should do more in terms of having more ways and pursuing it more and bring it more to the Bahamian people, because it's the land there for the Bahamian people, and like you say, only Port Authority was what was sold, not Freeport. So if they have mindset of buying the land back or however, then they should put more emphasis on it and bring it more front to the people, so the people will know what's going on, and it give the people more some satisfaction to know that they pursuing it more, and they dealing with it in a timely manner.
Thank you very much for that last word. Well, that's it for this segment of Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's. My name is Lawrence Pintard, and I hope you join us for our next segment. Again?
Okay.
Yes, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching this segment of Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's. We definitely look forward to your comments, and we look forward to you reaching out to us. And hopefully you do get involved in the conversation. Okay. 1-470-382-9632. Again, that number is 1-470-382-9632. Let's talk about this thing. Just last minute. Again, why did it take so long of pumping the Bahamian tax dollars into tourism, into Port Authority, Freeport, Grand Bahama, and all of what's been going on? There's one specific person I'd like to discuss this with or talk about this, and I hope he called me, or I hope he sent me a message or reach out for an invite to sit at the table at Lolo's, the Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's, and that is Mr. McEwen. Looking forward to hearing from him. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, former members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force marching bands, my mates, kudos to you, and look forward to having more discussions like this on the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and all of the other Caribbean islands, United States of America, Canada, Great Britain, and around the world. For this first edition of Kitchen Table Talk at Lolo's, sitting here with Mr. R. Dahl. Dahl, any last minute?
No, well, like I say, to our Bahamian people, continue to stay fast, stay strong, trust God like we always do. Trust God, and let's better our country. That our children and our grandchildren will have a better country in times to come. Thank you.
You're most certainly welcome. With that being said, my name is Lawrence Pintard, aka Lolo, coming to you from Kitchen Table Talk and Lolo's. Have a blessed and prosperous life.
Thank you.